Tonight, Sydney's landmark lighthouse saved from bushfire, but more dangerous conditions are on the way. Protesters hit the streets as the federal government rejects claims it failed to act over the latest deaths at sea. First on 7, the research confirming Sydney drivers are becoming more aggressive behind the wheel. War games off the coast before the Navy takes over Sydney Harbour. And the Roosters soak up the sun after booking their place in the NRL Grand Final.
This is 7 News at 6 with Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. Volunteer firefighters have saved the landmark Barrenjoey Lighthouse at Palm Beach after a ferocious bushfire tore across the headland. The blaze burned out 17 hectares before finally being brought under control late today.
On the escarpment that falls away from the Barrenjoey Lighthouse, there is almost nothing left to burn except the Sentinel itself. White.
Talika Cummins, 7 News.
Still to come in 7 News, a setback for the Salvos as arsonists strike in Sydney's west. A rare look inside a Sydney relic set for a multi-million-dollar facelift. And on a wing and a prayer, the breathtaking stunt with no room for error. That's next. Arsonists are believed responsible for a fire which gutted a Salvation Army building in Liverpool. Firefighters were called just after 6 this morning after rubbish in a trolley at the back of the building was set alight. The blaze spread quickly through the roof. It took 6 fire crews about an hour to bring it under control. The building has been extensively damaged, but crews managed to salvage some music equipment from inside. It's sat dormant for years. Now more than $5 million is being spent to preserve the historic White Bay Power Station. 7 News has been granted rare access to the century-old facility as the first steps are taken to restore it for public use.
It's a relic from Sydney's industrial past, a site that's fascinated passing motorists for 100 years.
Corliss has broken his back and both legs while trying to perform similar jumps. Sport now with Ryan Phelan at 7's racing headquarters. And Ryan, there's relief for both grand finalists.
Yes, Mark, Manly and the Roosters have stars cleared for the decider. Coming up, the Roosters soaking up grand final week after a sad end for the great Danny Badiris. Plus, his buddy headed to Sydney or in any state to make a decision on his future. And Warner misses out, but the fans are in great form at Bankstown Oval. Good evening. After initially being cleared of injury, Manly prop Richie Faroso has suffered a shattering blow before the NRL Grand Final. Scans have now revealed a broken neck. Glenn Stewart and Rooster Michael Jennings are clear to play in the decider. Jennings was charged after last night's win over the Knights.
The Roosters cooled off for the Battle of the Beaches at Bondi, but Danny Badiris' recovery was their main concern this morning.
He's come through okay through the night, which is a massive relief. You know, he's been such a great competitor, not just for the Knights, but for the NRL in general.
Knocked unconscious for 3 minutes.
Really getting into the spirit in grand final week. It's Roosters taking on Manly. And just an update, the Prime Minister's 13 absolutely thrashing PNG 50 points to 10. So our Aussies looking good, Fergo.
Nice to get an Aussie win for a change, Ryan. Thank you.
Indeed, we'll take it. Thanks.
Sydney's back to work weather forecast is after the break, but first, here's what's coming up on Sunday night with Chris Bath.
Thanks, Mark. Tonight, Matthew Ames, the loving father of 4, struck down by a common bug that turned toxic. He thought it was flu. He woke up without arms and legs. Australia's first bionic man. That's after the X Factor.
It was sunny across Sydney today, but cooler than yesterday. The city reached a top of 23. Right now, it's 19. In our west, temperatures were around 5 degrees above average, getting up to 25 at Parramatta and Campbelltown. Along the coast, temperatures slightly cooler, 21 at Bondi. Around the country tomorrow, Melbourne 26 degrees with late rain. Canberra, Brisbane and Cairns partly cloudy. Adelaide will have a shower or two, a top of 29. On our waters, northerly winds are expected to hit 15 to 25 knots offshore. It's staying fine in Sydney tonight with a low of 13 degrees, slightly lower in the suburbs, down to 8 at Campbelltown. Tomorrow, a warm and sunny day across the suburbs, the city set to reach 28 degrees. And looking further ahead, temperatures will dip slightly on Wednesday and Thursday before more hot weather over the weekend. That is 7 News for this Sunday. I'm Mark Ferguson. Now here's the X Factor.